Well, we are starting to see some road openings here around Kansas City, but still very slow going. If you have to be out, take extreme precaution. We are here for you the morning after a historic weekend of snow and ice around Kansas City, and the ice on Saturday was just absolutely horrific. And if you were monitoring some of this on social media, especially in central and western Kansas, oh my gosh. This guy, Trooper Ben with the Kansas Highway Patrol, does an outstanding job. On X is where he's got a very big following, getting the word out to folks all over the state. And I know many of you probably saw his stuff, but I also wanted to get an update on just what's happening as we head out west throughout the state of Kansas. Ben, good morning. Thanks for being on KCMO in Kansas City. How are you, my friend?
And I think of most Kansans, but I'm on my patrol car driving around trying to find people that need help. So we're just getting started again.
Yeah, well, it's third day in a row of that. So where are you right now, and what's the situation with some of the roads, highways, the interstate out in central and western Kansas right now?
So I am on I-135 south of Salina in Saline County. It's a wonderful area of the state of Kansas. It's pretty distant in communities, and it's flat, but I tell you what, snow-covered, ice everywhere, and there's typically maybe one lane, if that, of travel. But really, this part of Kansas, everything's shut down. The roadways are closed, and we have people still driving on them, though, because we can't put barriers and blocking and emergency vehicles stopping people. But State of Kansas and KDOT has shut down all of these roads out here, and people need to still stay home.
Well, it looks like, I mean, if I'm reading the map right, the CanDrive map right, it looks like I-70 is, like you said, it's technically closed when you get west of Topeka. I mean, all the way out to, way out in western Kansas. So Is that correct? I mean, technically I-70 is closed out where you are right now?
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, it is closed, not maybe by physical barriers and gates and officers, but it is closed. And that's because KDOT is having a hard time getting these roadways prepared for safe travel. I mean, we recognize that Mother Nature was winning the battle. And at some point, you just need to tap out, yield, and say, okay, we're going to come back, reset, and get ready to take this on again. And that's what KDOT's been doing, is trying to get these roadways best prepared for travel again. So if you are on those roadways, honestly, you're messing up. I mean, you shouldn't be in the first place, but if you find yourself in the ditch, which a lot of people are today, there's a good chance that it's going to take maybe hours before a first responder can get there. In addition to a wrecker service might take many more hours because they're going from call to call. You're really putting yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah, we got almost a foot of snow yesterday here in the Kansas City area. We had that icing that took place on Saturday. You guys got pounded on the ice on Saturday afternoon. It seemed even worse out there. If I saw Russell, Kansas had 2/3 of an inch of ice. So what were you dealing with? How bad was it on Saturday, and how did it progress as yesterday went along?
Yeah, Saturday was just all ice all day, and it started with just vehicles sliding off, and then we had road closures. The ramps were a big problem because people, semis in particular, just went exiting off at such a slow rate because they didn't want to lose control, couldn't get traction to get up these simple ramps to exit off. So then it would be called some stoppages, some blocking of the ramp, and then we've got a traffic jam building up behind it because everybody's trying to get off the roadway. And then you lead into then the snow coming in after midnight. All through Sunday, we've got snow leading into now today. There's no snow out today, but yesterday was just snow-covered roads and still trying to recover and trying to get people to stay home. That was the message Saturday and Sunday. It is honestly still the message today. I mean, people really shouldn't be out here. These roadways in this area of Kansas are not prepared for travel. KDOT's working on it. City and county workers are trying to get them ready. But it's another day of really sitting back, eating chili with beans is what I would say. Stay warm and relax and just stay in your house.
We had the chili last night, and I don't know who would do chili without beans. It just doesn't seem right. So I'm with you there.
Some foolish people do.
Is that right? I mean, I cannot trust a man who eats chili without beans. I can't do it. Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Trooper Ben, Kansas Highway Patrol, is here on KCMO Talk Radio. He is out in the McPherson, Kansas area right now on I-135, monitoring the situation in central Kansas, where the roads are just a complete and utter mess. And just take us through, Ben, how it works. Listen, when someone gets on the roads, if they need help from a first responder, you are stretching people very thin who are already stretched very thin, right? I mean, the resources that are out there right now to help people, few and far between. So what has that been like as you've been hearing all of these calls over the last 36 hours or so?
Well, it's frustrating and it's concerning as first responders. I mean, we want to help. We are driven to be helpers, servants, and we can't get you at times, and we want to. We're fighting our vehicles, Mother Nature, to try to serve you in an adequate way, but we're not able to do so just because of the weather and road conditions. And that's just being real, being honest, being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, public needs to recognize that the majority of Kansans have done a wonderful job, because there's a lot of people that are staying home. There's little traffic on these roadways, but those that are traveling on the roadways, I hope these people are only those people that are critical roles, hospital staff, individuals that keep the vital functions of our society still going. And if you're not doing that, if you're going out just to get I got to give you a 20-ounce Mountain Dew, well, then you're really messing up. You're not recognizing the priorities for themselves or for the other first responders.
Yeah, please tell me you haven't bumped into somebody in a ditch who's like, I was out for a Mountain Dew. Please tell me that's not going on.
Yeah, well, I've had some individuals that are driving down and they're the Uber. They're trying to deliver some Uber food to someone, and it's like, maybe today's not the day to be doing Uber Eats. I mean, you can't really get down the roadway. I don't know if it's cost effective for them individuals trying to deliver food. Hopefully people prepared leading up to this. They've gone grocery shopping. I mean, we've seen all the individuals at the stores getting as much as they can. My family did that to make sure we were prepared for at least 3 or 4 days. And it's just challenging out here like we've not seen in a long time.
I was going to say, how long have you been on the job now, and how does this weekend stack up for you?
Yeah, I've been a trooper now for over 25 years, and I love doing what I do. I love wearing this uniform. This probably stacks in probably the top 5. I mean, honestly, there was a couple of years ago where it was blizzard conditions very similar to this, and you couldn't see. We can see, at least. There's been some visibility challenges, but the wind has not been as bad as sometimes in times past. So I'd give it a top 5 rating. Not that we want to be on that top 5 for this type of situation, but this is notable.
Well, you got to follow him on X at Trooper Ben KHP for Kansas Highway Patrol. He does a outstanding job, good mixture of information and entertainment, along with everything else that's going on across the state of Kansas. Trooper Ben, we appreciate you. Thanks for being on KCMO Talk Radio in Kansas City. Thanks for all you're doing, and if we can, maybe we'll catch up with you later this morning.
Well, hey, I appreciate this opportunity for the listeners. I mean, I'm always wanting to bridge the distance to anybody in Kansas and across the state. If anybody could just please recognize staying home is important, looking after each other. And people talk about peer pressure. Peer pressure is also negative, is what people say. Peer pressure can be a positive thing. You just peer pressure others to say, hey, don't be doing that. Stay home. Don't be driving right now. And it might make for better situations.
Well said, my friend. Thanks so much for being here.
Okay, see you later.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. There you go. Nice job out of him.